Hey guys, what's up? It's Charlie here, and today we're going to be looking at 10 grandparents you won't believe actually exist. So it's a kind of mean stereotype that grandparents are all boring and they just sit around all day, but these grandparents are all absolutely amazing, and I didn't even believe a few of these at first. But these crazy people are 100% real. So definitely drop a like if you enjoy. Let's aim for 4,000 likes on this video because it really does help me out. So coming in at number 10 we have Dean Parker. So this is a granddad from Florida in America, and this guy's really amazing because he's done a few crazy and dangerous things. So yeah, he's from America, but when he was 49 he moved to Costa Rica to become a surf instructor, where he trained people to do surf tricks and regular surfing in really nice looking but also gnarly water. Which is cool anyway, but that's not all he did. In 2015 he was reading about the terrorist group ISIS in Syria, and he was so pissed off about what they were doing, so he contacted the Kurdish People's Protection Unit, which is basically a rebel group to ISIS, and their job is basically to kill all terrorists. So yeah, not only is this granddad a crazy surfer, but he also literally fights terrorists. He's been in Syria for almost 1 year now, so I just hope he's okay and safe. But if this guy's Facebook photos are anything to go by, he's kind of enjoying fighting ISIS out in Syria, and it looks like he has quite a heavily armed team, so don't worry about him too much. So coming up next is Paul Marshalsea. So this one also has something to do with water, but it's more dangerous than surfing. Shit, maybe it's even more dangerous than literally fighting terrorists. Basically in 2014, a guy called Paul Marshalsea was relaxing on a beach in Australia when all of a sudden a shark started to swim over to the shore where loads of people were swimming, and there was a lot of kids around the shark too. So without hesitation he ran into the water and wrestled the shark. The shark was a massive 6 foot long or 2 meters depending on what system you use, but he said to a local newspaper about him beating up a shark, "My instincts just took over and I grabbed it." Now I don't know if I have pussy instincts or whatever, but mine would probably tell me to run. But yeah, this wasn't an easy fight for Paul because the shark almost bit his leg off, but luckily after wrestling with it for a while the shark finally swam off. But unfortunately Paul's employer saw the video, and his employer, who owned the nightclub that Paul worked at, fired Paul because of what he did. Now I don't know if it was because of animal cruelty or whatever, but I mean come on, this guy saved lives, and it's not like he killed or even injured the shark, so I think that's really fucked up he got fired because of it. But anyway, here's a few clips of him actually wrestling the shark. So coming up next is Georgina Harwood. So this is probably one of the coolest ones on this entire video. Now this grandma has a really unusual passion for extreme sports, and it's not like she always liked extreme sports. She actually got into it when she was around 80, but when she turned 100 in 2015 she decided to actually do one of these extreme sports. So she ended up going skydiving to celebrate her 100th birthday, where she jumped with an instructor at 125 miles an hour to Earth. She said the skydive made her birthday really special, and she also admitted she didn't actually expect to live to 100, so she wanted to live life to the fullest. And if you think that's the only crazy thing she's done, well, you're wrong. For her 92nd birthday in 2007, she went cage diving with great white sharks. And it wasn't in some luxurious warm water, it was in the freezing South Atlantic Sea, which is usually too dangerous to go in because it's so cold, let alone for a 92-year-old. So yeah, Georgina, you are one crazy but cool grandma. Here's a video of her skydiving on her 100th birthday. So next up is Andreas Carling. So this guy's actually a movie star, but hey, if he's a movie star, why haven't I heard of him? Okay, he is a movie star, but in Sweden, where he's from. And this guy is 64 years old, and he used to be one of the most famous bodybuilders in Sweden. And he basically stays in shape for the movies. And obviously, he always plays really muscular roles. For example, he's played Thor in the movie King Fury, which is like a mix between a Swedish Viking movie and a karate movie. Yeah, I know, weird mix. But anyway, this guy has an Instagram with around 40,000 followers where he posts videos and photos of him working out. And he's actually done quite a bit of good because he's motivated a lot of unhealthy old people to start working out and getting fit. But his doctors are kind of worried because he's so old and all, and it's kind of dangerous to work out so much. And I don't know if this guy takes steroids or not. I mean, a lot of bodybuilders do, but I hope someone this old doesn't. Also, I'm not trying to be rude, but doesn't this man look exactly like this guy? Anyway, here's a few clips of Andreas working out. So next up is Aishat Maksudova. Now this is a Russian grandma who got famous for something really weird, but it is a crazy story that you guys probably want to hear, so I had to put her on this list. So she's a farmer in the middle of nowhere in Russia, and she was feeding her sheep and cows and stuff one day when all of a sudden a wolf came out of the woods and bit her right on the hand. And then the wolf went right for her animals and almost killed one of them, so Aishat got an axe and tried to hit the wolf away from the animals, but she didn't want to kill the wolf. But that didn't really work because the wolf ended up jumping onto her leg and biting her again. So she straight up went lumberjack mode and just chopped his goddamn head off. And just like that, she decapitated the wolf so it didn't kill her. And she didn't even go to the hospital about it. It was only a friend who found out that made her go. And because the story was so crazy, her friend told the newspapers too. So yeah, now Aishat is kind of a local celebrity where she lives. And I know some people are gonna get annoyed because she killed an animal, but I mean it was her life or the wolf's. So next up is Wang Xioya. So you've already seen Andreas Calling and he was pretty damn strong, but this 72-year-old Chinese grandma might actually be stronger. That's right, this woman doesn't look like much, but in 2007 she pulled a 4-ton truck using only her mouth. And then a year later she did the same thing to 2 other cars attached to each other which together weighed 5 tons. She's been training to do this stuff since she was around 40 and has only perfected it around now. And I mean, not only is she insanely strong, but her teeth must be made out of metal. Like, how do they not come out? But yeah, I honestly didn't believe this one at first, and I did quite a bit of research to make sure this is actually real. And obviously, because it made it to the video, it is. So yeah, next time you walk past an elderly woman and think she's frail or whatever, well, think again. So next up is George Frogley. So I've already talked about the 100-year-old skydiver living life to the fullest. Well, this is one granddad who really does live life to the fullest. Seriously, there's almost nothing this guy hasn't done. So George Frogley is from England and has been running marathons since he was around 40 years old. But when he turned 80 in 2015, he set himself a challenge to do 8 physical challenges before the end of 2015. And those included climbing the O2 Arena, which is this massive canvas building in London, skiing down Red Runs, which is the hardest way to ski, and doing a ton of different marathons and stuff for charity. And he also climbed Scafell Pike, which is the tallest mountain in England. And just a fun little Charlie fact, I've actually climbed this as well, but I am nowhere near this guy's level because he also climbed other mountains and did some bike racing, all for charity. So yeah, this guy completed all of his 8 challenges in the year to celebrate being 80. And I'm sure if he keeps up all his fitness, he's gonna live for quite a long time more. I mean, shit, if he did that for his 80th birthday, I wonder what he'd do for his 100th. I guess we'll have to wait and see. But anyway, next up is Mary Havizda. So this is a grandma who got really famous off the internet. Basically, in 2013, a video was uploaded to YouTube called Grandma Drummer, which showed Mary, who was a 64-year-old grandma, playing the instrumental to the song Wipeout. And the video went super viral and got almost 8 million views. And yeah, it turned out this grandma is actually in a band as a drummer and plays a lot of rock music. And this is kind of weird because most old people like classic music and stuff, but this grandma actually plays modern rock and roll. And she had no idea she was super famous until she saw herself on the local paper when she was delivering newspapers, because that was actually her job at the time. I mean, imagine working as a newspaper delivery guy and then seeing your face on the front cover. That seriously sounds like something out of a movie. Anyways, after that, she was on the David Letterman show, the Steve Harvey show, and Ellen. And now she can finally afford to buy her own drum set and even record a few sessions every month. And even though some people did mock her in the YouTube comments, I actually think it's a good thing that she's following her passion even though she's old. So next up is Yasmina Rossi. So you guys have probably seen those ads like, she's 68 but she looks 12, dermatologists hate her. And like me, you probably think it's just bullshit when you see one of them, but this grandma here is as close to this as you're gonna get in real life. She's a 61-year-old grandma from France who is now a famous model, now living in Florida in America. And she says her looks are all down to a homemade scrub that she puts on her face. I mean, I can't help but think her genetics probably also help, but in case any of you guys want to be hated by dermatologists, the scrub is a mix of olive oil and sugar, and she also says she has to eat an avocado every day. I would have imagined that rubbing oil and sugar on your skin would make it worse, but okay. And this grandma has an Instagram with around 70,000 followers where she posts her modeling work, but even though she's famous for being a young-looking old model, she recently said in an interview that she now wants to focus on trying to normalize old models, which I actually think is a good thing because it's good to have some character in models instead of the same people that you see in every commercial. But yeah, if any of you guys want to try out this face scrub, then let me know how it goes. Just out of interest, I mean, I wouldn't use it. But anyway guys, coming up last is Mima Rosenthal. So this grandma isn't just amazing because she's the oldest on this list, but also because of what she does. So Mimi is from Kansas in America, and ever since the 1940s, she's been obsessed with tattoos. She got her first one when she was around 18, and is still getting them now at age 107. And don't get me wrong, it's not like she's coated in them like this guy, but she does have quite a few subtle tattoos all around her body. Another thing that's strange is that she's actually from a strict Jewish family, and because of that, she's always had to hide her love for tattoos. tattoos. But now she says her kids and grandkids all say her tattoos are cool, and they're all really supportive even though there's such a big age gap. But with that being said, I just watched an interview with her and she seems really nice and pretty funny, and I kind of wanted to end off on a happy one. So yeah, that just about wraps up this video. Check out the poll in the top right corner and you guys can vote for the grandparent that shocked you the most. For me, it's Paul Marshalsea, just because he literally wrestled a shark. But as always, thank you guys so much for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed, and if you haven't already, what are you waiting for? Subscribe.